Hey everyone, it's Danica and welcome back to the Writing Nook. Today's a good one. Today I'm going to be attempting a writing experiment, trying to see what type of writing sprint works best for me. I've picked out 7 different styles of writing sprints that I want to try, and I'm going to be ranking them along 3 different categories. So if you want to find out who the ultimate winner is of this showdown, stick around to the end to find out. I've picked out 7 different styles of writing sprints that I want to test out. Let's walk through them, shall we? So the first style is write-ins. Originally, write-ins were where groups of writers would get together and write. Since everything going online and the craziness of this pandemic, it's become very popular to have these online. Write-ins are awesome because you can get some words in, but you can also get to meet other people. And for this reason, I'm going to try 2 different types of write-ins. First is live write-in. Now the advantage of a live write-in is that you have the real synergy of working with other writers and knowing that they're writing at the same time that can kind of propel you forward. But the main hang-up of a live write-in is that there's also the live chat, and I think the temptation of wanting to talk to other writers and get to meet other people sometimes can keep me from being as productive on a live write-in as I would otherwise. I'm also going to try a pre-recorded write-in. After write-ins have gone live, you can go back and watch through them and write with them. This is nice because since there's nobody actually writing with you, there's no live chat, and so you don't have that distraction, but you still get the enjoyment of having the breaks. The next style that I'm going to try are writing sprint videos. From my research, I think that there are 2 main types of these videos. Writing sprint videos that have music in the background, writing sprint videos that have typing in the background. The next style that I'm going to try are writing sprint websites. My favorite is Write or Die. It's a website that essentially forces you to write for a certain period of time. If you stop writing for 10 seconds, it starts making really loud noises at you. So unlike every other style of writing sprint that I'm using, this is the only one that has like a negative reinforcement aspect to force you to keep writing. And the final style of writing sprints are just good old-fashioned setting a timer and doing it on your own. First is setting a timer and using music while I write, and the second is going to be just setting a timer and writing. I'm going to be evaluating all the styles of writing sprints on 3 different metrics. The first metric is words per minute. Since these trials are going to be of varying lengths of time, I can't compare absolute numbers of words without mixing up apples and oranges. So I'm going to use words per minute as my metric for how much I'm able to write in these sprints. Second is my experience, my enjoyment, my inspiration levels. I'm gonna rank that from 1 to 10. 1 being this was miserable, writing was like pulling my teeth. 10 would be I absolutely got into the flow, I loved this experience. The third metric is going to be the quality of my writing. I'm also going to be ranking this from 1 to 10. 1 being, this is the absolute worst thing I've ever written, this is barely readable, and 10 being, wow, this is some of the best work that I'm capable of doing in this moment. All of the resources that I use in this video to go through each of these trials are going to be linked down below. If you are interested in using any of these, definitely let me know what your experience is like and what works best for you. At the end of the video, I'm going to come back and declare the ultimate winner of the best style of writing sprint that I've found for myself. Leave me a comment down below and tell me what you think it's going to be, and we'll find out. Let's get to it. The next live write-in that I could find is going to be in about 1 hour and 15 minutes. It's with Alexa Dunn, Lizelle, and Camille, which I'm very excited about. But I want to have a few writing sprints before then, and I feel like the writing videos are going to slot best. So the first one I'm going to try is a writing sprint video with music. Now this one is made by Bethany on AuthorTube. I will link it down below. She actually made a series of 25-minute writing sprint videos that go with different moods and also different genres. So the one that I'm specifically going to be using today is the epic fantasy writing sprint soundtrack because my book is an epic fantasy. I listened to a little bit of the music and it sounds pretty good. I think that I like it. After that, I'm gonna go to a writing sprint with typing. And for that, I've recently been using Kate Kavanaugh's 15-minute typing video. I might have time to squeeze in another writing sprint before the live write-in, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so let's see how that went. So that was a 25-minute sprint and I got 966 words, which is pretty good. So as far as overall impressions, quality, I think that I was writing probably about like
I'd say a 5, just really pretty average. I think there were some things I wrote that were pretty bad, and then there were some things I wrote were okay. It'll come out to a 5. As far as like inspiration, I really liked the music. I did feel fairly inspired. What I would say though, in the 25-minute period, she rotates through several different tracks of music, so it changes like every 2 or 3 minutes to a different song, and I did find that to be a little bit like distracting, but I did like all of the music. I would give it probably a 7 for inspiration and experience. Overall, I think I definitely would use this writing sprint again. Next, I'm going to try Kate Kavanaugh's typing for 15 minutes video. This is a video that I've been using a lot this year ever since she posted it. I really like the sound of her keyboard for some reason. I think it's probably like one of the best keyboard sounds that I've heard. It only goes for 15 minutes, so this is part of the reason why the words per minute is going to be a helpful metric to compare. I still have about a half hour before the live write-in, so I think that I have enough time for another sprint. Let's go! My characters are currently in a library, so I'm gonna go ahead and change my background to my library. Perfect. That actually went really well. I got like 49 words per minute, a whole 10 words per minute faster. So for quality, I think the quality of my writing felt a little bit better than in the last sprint, but not drastically so. I'm kind of writing a history book. I do think that I captured the voice of this history book pretty well. So I think that I'm gonna kind of settle and go for a 6, so a little bit better than last time, but not huge. I felt pretty inspired. I like the typing sounds. I find it very motivational to imagine that there are other writers writing alongside me, even when they aren't technically. So I really like the typing noises. I think that I would give it maybe slightly higher than the last writing sprint because the change of music was slightly distracting. So I think I'm gonna go with an 8.
Introduce yourselves and plug your channel, and then we're all going to talk about what we're writing, what we're working on, and then maybe we'll write. We'll see. We're going to write.
So I just got done with the live stream and I got through about 3 writing sprints. There was a lot of chatting. This was a very chatty live stream, so maybe not the best for productivity. My results were like very mixed. I basically got around 30 words a minute, which is so far my lowest. And on one of these sprints, I actually didn't get any words at all because I was very distracted by the chat. So I think for my average for the live write-in, I'm actually going to ignore the 0 word sprint because I honestly didn't even attempt it. I think that if I had attempted it, I probably would have at least gotten some words. So how did the live write-in fare? As far as quality of my writing, I think my writing was okay. I don't know. I hesitate to say it was very good. It might have been slightly worse because I think I was kind of forcing my words out a little bit more. I think I'm gonna go with a 4. As far as like inspiration experience, this was probably the first live write-in that I've had this problem where like I think there were a few negative vibes in the chat. That's the reason why I didn't get any words on that one sprint. And then I think it definitely is part of the reason why I did much worse on the last sprint. But on the other hand, I got to talk to some folks and meet some great people, which is my favorite part about live write-ins. So I currently have a 7 and an 8 for my other ratings. I think I'm gonna give this live write-in like a 6. I've definitely been to other ones, particularly smaller ones where it was a little easier to talk to people that I've really, really enjoyed. But this one, I think, just didn't totally knock the ball out of the park. I think overall for the day, I have really close to 3,000 words, which is awesome for a day that I wasn't even trying to hit a super high word count. Overall, I think it was a big success.
So, it's the next morning. I think I'm gonna start out with a timer plus music. For my music, I'm gonna use a Game of Thrones soundtrack that I've been using a lot lately. It's basically a 2-hour loop of a lot of the themes from the North, which I find really goes well with the mood of my stories. I'll put that link down below if you're interested in using it. Let's get to writing. And we're done.
Okay, so that actually went pretty well, I think. I haven't looked at how many words I've gotten yet. I got just about 34 words per minute. That's okay. It's basically better than my live write-in score. For quality, my writing was very mediocre. I don't know, 4.5 is feeling right to me. I didn't think I was originally gonna do 0.5s, but I think I'm gonna split hairs. So I'm gonna do 4.5 for quality. And for kind of my inspiration levels, I really do like the music. It's good music, would recommend, but I wasn't super into it just yet. I'm gonna give it a 6.5, because again, I'm just all about being contrary right now. Hello, friends, writers, countrymen. I am back and ready to keep writing. I think I'm going to do a write or die sprint. I think I'm gonna go for about 1,000 words in 20 minutes, or should I go for 25? Okay, I'm gonna go for 20. I am ready. Okay, so I did really well. I got like over 1,100 words in a 20-minute sprint. I got 57 words per minute on Write or Die, which is a full 7 words per minute faster than even my fastest other sprint time. I really enjoyed this. I think as far as like inspiration, experience, it was great. I really like using Write or Die. It really helps me to get in the flow. I feel like my scenes just come out better and smoother. I think I'm gonna give this like a 9. On inspiration. Quality of my writing, I think I'm gonna give it a 6. The bad and the good kind of evens out to a 6.
Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye. I just finished doing the recorded live write-in, and honestly, it was awesome. I had so much fun. I really like doing recorded write-ins because you can do them whenever you want, and I just like having people chat for a few minutes in between. I will link them down below for sure, just like everything else, but the WordNerds do some awesome write-ins. Let's see how the words turned out. My average was 27 words per minute. But to be fair, I spent a lot of time thinking, and I think I came up with some really good ideas, and I like solved a few problems, which was really good. So this was a lot more productive. For quality, actual words written were like reasonable. They were like okay, but I came up with a lot of really good ideas. So I think that I'm gonna factor that into the quality score. I'm gonna do a 6.5. And then for inspiration, I thought it was great. I'm big into 0.5s right now, so I think I'm gonna give it an 8.5 because it's a little bit less than I think my 9 on Write or Die. You know what? Never mind. This is gonna give it a full 9. I really enjoyed that. Alrighty, we have come to the final sprint. I still have one last 20-minute word sprint to complete the entire experiment that I'm going to do tonight, and then we will have the answers that we have all been looking for as to what is the best writing sprint. Asterix for Danica. Let's get to it. Let's go! And that's a wrap. I got 823 words in about 20 minutes, which honestly I think is pretty good. I got 41 words per minute. For the quality, I wrote some good lines, which was nice. I think my writing was a little bit better than normal. I'm gonna go with a 6. And for my inspiration, I really like just being able to write and not having any sound. I think sometimes I can get in the zone even more so when I'm just writing and I'm not listening to anything. I think I'm gonna go with like an 8. Alrighty, so we are back and ready to look at the final score to see how all of these word sprints ranked up against each other for me. So at the top of the list was Write or Die. Somewhat unsurprisingly, this had the absolute best word count, words per minute. It was also one of my highest quality scores, in addition to being one of my highest inspirations. This is sort of no surprise. I love Write or Die. I definitely would recommend it if you've never tried it before. My second best is the sprint video plus typing. I've always liked typing noises, but it's interesting to know it's one of my best styles of writing sprint. Also super interesting that the pre-recorded write-in went so well. After that, we have only using a timer, just a very classic style of writing sprint, sprint video plus music, and the timer plus my own music, and then at the bottom we have the live write-in. I think the live write-in coming in last definitely makes sense because I'm often really distracted by kind of the chat and what's happening in the write-in more so than when it's pre-recorded.
recorded and I can't actually interact with it. It's really interesting to me though that my personal music plus a timer does worse than the actual sprint video plus someone else's music, because I remember in this sprint I had a bit of a problem that the music kept changing and I found that a little bit distracting. But overall I still got higher words per minute, and my quality and enjoyment was just a little bit higher.
Leave me a comment down below and let me know what your favorite style of writing sprint is, if it's something that I tried in this video or something that I didn't. As always, thank you all very much for watching and making it to the end of this video. You're awesome. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day or YouTube binge, and I will see you all right back here very soon. For anyone who's following my knitting journey, I have my finished scarf. I made a matching headband.